Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome to Gambling with Gold, episode 109. This is our Week 5 NFL Best Bets preview. My name is Jason Gold. This is Joey Mariello. Let's jump right in. Top 5 best bets on the board. Joey, what's your number one pick for the slate for NFL Week 5?
Number one pick, I love the Lions and the Pats over 45.5. I think
it surprised me there. All right, cool.
Yeah, I think that game of horrible defense and good offense keeps rolling. I like Bailey Zapp. I think he's going to come out slinging it because he doesn't have much to lose. I'm seeing a lot of turnovers in this one. Good field position, over 45.5. I'm smacking it.
Interesting. So the line has, I guess, come down then because I saw it at 46 earlier in the week, 45.5 right now. I'd be interested to see where that line moves the rest of the week. My first inclination when seeing that was every Detroit Lions game has been over so far this year, and a lot of them have gone way over, and I've been on most of those overs. I think there may be an under here. I'm just not sure what the number is. Like, if it's 46, I kind of like the under. My whole reasoning is Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions have played every game indoors at this point. Jared Goff outdoors is a much different issue. I'm not sure what that looks like. So do I want to bet the under and get ahead of that move? Or are we just like, fuck it, these are the Lions that are going to give up 30 points a game and score 30, and we're not even going to come close. So I get your angle for sure. Don't hate it at all. All right, my first bet on the board, I'm going to use the circle line that I have in the contest. Tampa Bay, minus 8.5, hosting the Atlanta Falcons. Tampa Bay off 2 losses in a row. Atlanta is 2-2 off of a win versus the Cleveland Browns. Tom Brady off of 2 straight losses, 10-0 straight up, 10-0 against the spread in his career. Atlanta's 4-0 against the spread. It's coming all back down. This is a great spot to buy in on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All you have to do is get that 8.5. Brady in this spot should just be an absolute monster. Also for Atlanta, no Pitts, no Patterson, which means that all the Tampa Bay defense that I know got torched last week, much different offense, all they have to do is stop the run game, and then they're not going to be able to throw the ball through the air. I love Mariota more than anyone, but I don't think that Tampa Bay is worried about Mariota beating them through the air. So I think making this offense very one-dimensional. I love the Atlanta Falcons under team total 20.5. That's actually like one of my best bets for the week. I think there's no chance that they score more than 21 points in this game. So give me Tampa Bay minus 8.5 for my number one lock.
I'm with that. Okay. Next up, I got Saints minus 5.5. All right. Seahawks are coming off this fantasy video game with the Lions. That was probably the highest scoring game of the year so far. And yeah, I think the Saints, they got Michael Thomas back. I think I don't think he's going to be back. He's questionable. Okay, no, that was it. So even without Michael Thomas, I still think the Saints absolutely roll the Seahawks, humble them up again. I don't think Geno's going to continue to play at that level. I have another bet on the side. I like Olave and Kamara touchdown. Yeah, I mean, I like the Saints minus 5.5.
All right, fair enough. I can guarantee you that I'm going to be against that pick in our contest in Circa. Not my pick, but Dan Tyus' number one pick was Seattle plus 5.5. So I'm going to be forced to roll with that one. We'll see how it goes. All right, before I get into my number 2 pick, a couple of giveaways that I want to talk about. We have a T. Higgins signed Bengals jersey if you enter a Sunday's Best contest with us at Champions Round. So go ahead and make sure you go enter one of those and then DM us a screenshot of your entry and also your Champions Round username. And then also, if you play Daily Dozen with us for the rest of the month, you have a chance to win the Micah Parsons signed Cowboys helmet. So make sure you play Daily Dozen every day. You have another 3 hours to enter for today. We have MLB playoffs going on. Tomorrow will be college football. And Sunday, Monday, obviously, we're going to have NFL player props for you guys to dive into. All right, number 2 pick on the board, Baltimore Ravens, minus 3. Lamar, 6-0, straight up after a home loss. I think this is a smash spot for them. Also, additional best bet, Baltimore, minus 2.5 first half. Lamar in his career, 75% against the spread in the first half. Bengals have started off slow in the first half this year. Second half, they've done much better defensively. So I feel much better about that -2.5 first half than I do the -3 on the game. But Baltimore revenge spot also. They lost twice to the Bengals last year. All they did all offseason was talk about how they wanted to win this game and make sure that the Bengals knew who ran shit in the AFC North. I think the Ravens come out and prove that in this game. So give me Baltimore -3 as my number 2 pick.
All right. I think I'm fading you on that one. I kind of
All right.
like the Bengals. The Bengals have a pretty good pass D. The Ravens are one of the worst teams in the league in secondary, and they got too many weapons on offense, the Bengals. If Joe Burrow could come out slinging and the defense could shut Lamar down. Yeah, I don't like the Ravens money line. I'd probably roll with the Bengals plus 3.5 just because I think it's going to be a close game. So all right, we found our first fade of the day. All right, my third best bet. This might be a sucker bet, but it was screaming at me. I'm gonna take the Steelers plus 14 against the Bills. All right, Pickett clearly turned that offense around. Right, despite the 3 picks, a couple of them weren't his fault at all. I liked the decisions he was making, but I just felt like when he was in the game, it was a whole different offense than Trubisky. The Bills are not the Bills. Yeah, the Bills are coming off 2 really gritty games against the Ravens and then the Dolphins previous. Their defense has been getting worn out completely. I like the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's Offensive Rookie of the Year campaign starts Sunday.
Hey, I told you on the Hot Take show that I like the Kenny Pickett hot take that he would win NFL Rookie of the Year, that you should go bet him right now. I do think that's a good bet, and I did go lay the plus 800 upon your advice. However, 14 points, I get it. Like, that's a lot of points. Just my only hesitation with it is when the Bills win at home, they usually blow teams out of the door. So, like, this could be a 30-burger really quickly. Do I think there's value on betting Pittsburgh at plus 14? Absolutely. Do I want to get in front of it? I'm not sure, but I'm glad that you have the stones to do so. I do think it's, in theory, long-term, the right side to be on for a team that's this good to be catching this many points. So all good on that one. My third pick, I bet this earlier in the week. I would still bet it at the current plus 2.5 in the market. But give me the Cleveland Browns plus 3 at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers back-to-back road games, still beat up. No Rashawn Slater. Doesn't look like Keenan Allen's going to be able to play. No Joey Bosa. This Cleveland Browns team is pretty competent. And I know that we got Jacoby Brissett, whatever. The Chargers have the worst run D in the NFL over the last 2 seasons, and now you're going to get Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Yeah, right. This game is going to be slow. I love the under 48, 47.5 if you can get both of those. I think the Cleveland Browns are just going to have a plan. Attack that defense with the running game, slow down the game. Don't let Herbert get into a rhythm at all. And I kind of like, Cleveland secondary a little bit. I'm not sure that the Chargers are going to be able to score all that much. So I think the Browns actually end up winning this game. You can give me the money line on them at plus 130, 140. And I will be all over the Browns at that plus 3 number. I think that they win 24-20, something like that.
Yeah, I like it. Brissett, for some reason, has looked so comfortable. It's almost like he wants to earn the starting spot, which is pretty wild to me.
Their offensive line is still pretty good. Like,
yeah,
he's got 100%. Time.
I like Chubb touchdown, maybe even 2, honestly. Like you said, you're going against a horrible run defense. So, yeah, no doubt. I'm on the Browns for this week. That was one of my picks for the week as well.
All right, cool. What do you got?
All right. I like the Packers -8. I root for the Giants this whole entire year, but come on. Going against A-Rod, they're starting to pick it up. They're coming off a big win too. And the Giants have played some pretty garbage teams on that long run to 3-1. I think this is the week they kind of get exposed. I like Dable. I like the team. I like what they're building, but I think the Packers are going to blow them out.
I love this. This was my number 5 bet of the week. It was the Green Bay Packers -8, a number I did not expect to be on until I dug into some research on this. First of all, the favorites in the London games are insane. 16-2 straight up, 12-6 against the spread. Aaron Rodgers, after a short win, is like, his numbers are insane. Every Aaron Rodgers number is like, he's great against the spread. This is a perfect spot to buy into him. And I just don't trust this Giants team at all. The number's 7.5 at DraftKings right now. Like, if I can get this to 7, oh yeah, baby. I love this all day long.
What's going on with the QB situation for the Giants? Do we have any news on
so it looks like it's going to be Daniel Jones. Tyrod looks like he may end up missing the game, but it looks like DJ's going to play.
Yeah, even that though, DJ looked super banged up. I mean, he's definitely still playing injured a little bit too. So that's another thing to take into account. And another thing is, if I want to add on this, I'm going to take AJ Dillon plus 140 anytime touchdown. I think they'll put him in the red zone and he'll get in.
I love it. All right. You have any more picks?
I like the Vikings and the Bears over 43. That's the last pick I would say that I really love, besides Dolphins money line, obviously. But yeah, Vikings, Bears over 43. I think both quarterbacks are I think Justin Fields is finally going to start picking it up. They're the last in the NFL by a dramatic amount in passing yards. And the run game's starting to do pretty good too. I like Herbert. I'll take the over. I think 1 o'clock Kirk too as well. We'll have a good game along with Justin Jefferson touchdown.
Interesting. I could see that going over. It's at 44 right now, actually, the market. So maybe it's moving your way. The one thing I failed to mention on Giants Packers is I love the over. I bet it at 40. It's now at 41. The reason being, everyone on that turf in London plays faster, and there have been a lot of overs in that game. I think 4 of the last 5 in that stadium, the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, has gone towards the over. Low total. I just think that you're going to see a little bit more than you're expecting offensively based on the turf in that game.
Yeah.
All right, my last pick in this one. I didn't think I was going to be on this one either. Rams -5 hosting the Dallas Cowboys. So I told you earlier in the week that I like the Miami Dolphins and -3, -3.5. It was going to be my second best bet of the week. I heard from a lot of guys in Vegas that I trust a lot that there are some big swinging dick factory guys out there who are going to bet a lot of money on the Jets. Guys that don't bet very often, but guys who come in with absolute hammers, and they're on the Jets at +3.5 this week. So I decided to walk away slowly, and I will take my loss on the Miami -3 ticket I already have, and that's that.
Oh, I hated what you just said. That actually makes me
terrifying.
Feel so uncomfortable about this game. Okay. All right.
All right. So I got to get to the Rams point. So I feel like I ruined Joey's day. So Rams -5. So Dallas on the West Coast over the last 3 years, 0-3 against the spread. The McVay on short rest, 5-0 against the spread over the last 4 years. And then there's another one that I actually have to read off a sheet of paper because I wrote it so small, I don't know how to read it. Any team that has won 3 straight games, win and cover 3 straight games, and allowed 20 or less points. This happened 6 times in the last 10 years. Do you want to know what their record is the week after, in the 4th week of this? They're 0-6 straight up and 0-6 against the spread.
Oh,
so that means this is the perfect spot to fade the Dallas Cowboys and buy super low on the Los Angeles Rams. Do I want to do this? Absolutely not. But every trend and number backs it up, and I do think it's a good time to buy low, despite the fact that we hate the Rams offense, despite the fact that we love the Dallas defense. Look at who Dallas has played. Dallas has played absolute trash. I don't think that we know who they are, and we don't know how good the Rams could be because I think this is probably the floor. 5's a weird number. I don't love it. I love the under 21 first half. That's where I am on this game. I'm on Rams -5.
The Rams, they just look so horrible in their 2 losses, like unbearable. The Matt Stafford slander is just coming all over on my Twitter too. It's unbelievable.
I mean, we know, like generally, whatever you think how bad it is, it's not that bad. And however good you think it is, it's not that good. You always want to be a week ahead of the trend.
You're right, because that 3-1 for the Cowboys also is just the most fraudulent
complete frauds
ever. It's almost like you're waiting for the collapse. You're waiting for the Cooper Rush 3 interception, 2 pick six game. All right. I might trust you on this because I do like it. And I think the Cowboys are frauds, and this is the floor for the Rams. So this has got to be the week that they turn around. Nice 425 game. All right, I'm going to ride this bet. I like this.
All right, I'm going to roll through all the totals that I have. Let me know if you like them or don't like them.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Seattle, New Orleans, over 44. Number is currently 46. Do you like it at 46?
Seattle, New Orleans?
Yes.
I like the under on this.
All right. Miami, Jets, I bet it over 44. Again, it's at 46.
I like that.
Kansas City over 51.
I like. I'm with that.
Atlanta team total under 20.
That might be
my best bet.
That might be the best bet of the night. Like, how many passing yards is Mariota going to have? 130? Seriously, I like that. That is a max bet right there.
Chargers, Cleveland under 48, under 47.5 the market right now.
Yeah. Yep. Run heavy.
Atlanta under 9.5 team total first half. I'm just trying to find as many ways to bet on the Atlanta under and against Atlanta as possible.
Yeah,
so I figured it was a good angle to add that on to.
Listen, if we're riding with that, then you got to go with all of it. So I like the under in that.
Baltimore, Cincinnati under 48.5.
Yep.
Miami over team total 23 and Jets over team total 20.5. Again, this is kind of just a backup to the over 44 for the game.
Hell yeah. Teddy B is going to be throwing all over it. So
Dallas Rams under 21 first half.
Yeah, I like the under in that whole entire game.
And then last one, Green Bay Giants over 40, over 41. Bet both.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Then teaser pieces that I like this week. So we'll go through all of these. There's a lot of options on the board where you go through 7 and 3, which is generally how I do this. But Tampa Bay -2.5, -3 seems like a smash spot. Green Bay -2 or -1.5, depending on where you're getting it. We talked about how we both like Green Bay. Feels like a smash spot. Cleveland +8, +8.5, depending on where you get that. We both like Cleveland. That seems like a smash spot to me also. Kansas City -1, Monday Night Football against the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think there's a chance that they lose that game, really. So I like that one. The two that are scary, I want your takes on both games because I don't think we've talked about them. Jacksonville -1 as a teaser piece, and then Minnesota -1.5 as a teaser piece.
Oh man, the Jags game was the only game where I didn't even care to put any thought into it. I'm not touching that. In a teaser piece, yes, I like it. You got to go with the Jags, but can they easily sell this game for you and give Houston their first win of the season? Yes, they can.
Let me say one interesting stat that I saw on Jacksonville. They've only been favored twice in the last 30 games. Both times came versus the Houston Texans, and they lost both games by 14+ points.
Oh my God.
So this is only the third game they've been favored in the past 31 or 33 games.
Listen, that's a risky one. I'm fading that game completely.
What about Minnesota -1.5 as a teaser piece?
Yes, I think the Vikings will win by 7 or more.
Okay, fair enough.
But I still think the Bears put up points. I really do. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game, but the Vikings are going to pull away. Way better offense.
The other options where I'm only going to talk about things that we can go through 3 and 7 one way or another. Washington Commanders +2 to +8. How do you feel about that as a teaser piece?
Commanders. Who are they playing?
They're hosting the Titans.
Oh. So you have them plus what?
You could get them at +8 as a teaser.
Yeah. I do like that. I do like that because
I don't trust anything coming out of Washington right now, so I'm not sure that I want to do it. There's much better options on the board, but if you do like the Commanders at that +2, just do the +8 as a teaser and pair it with Green Bay or Tampa Bay. Just have a better time. It's a better way to spend your weekend than sweating out +2 on your fucking Washington.
Don't ruin your Sunday.
You could use San Francisco -6.5 and bring it down to 0.5. Not super advisable, but at least you're not going through 0. You think the San Francisco is going to get it done against Carolina?
Yeah, not even a question.
All right, and then that's pretty much it. I mean, if the Bengals come down to +3, if the Jets come down to +3, you could move those up to +9. But otherwise, yeah, that's kind of it on the board. All right, let's close out the show with a little Survivor talk. So we're still in Survivor, still riding strong. The circuit contest in Vegas started off with 6,163 participants. We're now down to 1,200. I think the cash bullet begins at 500. I don't know how this got out of control so quickly, but I'm here for it. Here are the options that I have on the board for this week: Green Bay, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, Minnesota, and Kansas City. Is there another team on the board you think that I should be looking at that I'm not looking at?
I would say if I had to choose, maybe the Eagles against the Cardinals. But
I can't use them anymore for the record. But if you haven't chosen them out, but we're talking to everybody out here. So
true.
If you haven't chosen the Eagles, my personal opinion is save them for a home game. Like I don't want any part of them on the road. Even though we both hate Cliff Kingsbury, so maybe this is an easy win. But there has to be better value on the board somewhere else, I think.
Yeah, I feel like you would want to save. Did you say the Bills are an option for you specifically?
So
I feel like you want to save the Bills, right?
Exactly. So the Bills, obviously the biggest spread on the board, probably is the easiest bet to make this week, and I'm sure a lot of people will do it. But you do want to play this long game also. So if you have Buffalo, weeks 9 and week 16, they are expected to have the best future value, quote unquote, on the board left. So I would say them at least for week 9. Week 16, you get into a dicey situation where you're kind of trying to save your life at that point. But week 9 might be a really good spot to use the Buffalo Bills. Green Bay also has great future value. I'm not sure that I want to use them in the London game, but if you're feeling dicey about my favorite here, I would say go for Green Bay over Buffalo. I think it's a relatively safe play. Jacksonville versus Houston is an interesting one. I like Houston in that game at plus 7.5, so I can't really do this. But I do think that if you're confident on Jacksonville winning this game, you're not going to get a better spot to use them than at home against the Houston Texans. So you could play this game where you take them now and pray that Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson get it done. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I actually think it's really smart for gameplay, but it's probably the riskiest one on the board. It depends on what your risk tolerance is. Minnesota, kind of the same deal. You're not really going to get a better spot than them at home versus Chicago. I don't feel good about that game at all. I think Chicago is going to cover that game, and it's going to be close. Also, I just you only have to pick 17, 18 teams. In our conference, we have to pick 20. There's 12 teams I'm going to leave off the board. I might leave off Minnesota at some point off the board because I don't want to deal with the Kirk experience from a survivor pick. So that means that my two favorite come down to Kansas City, which I think there's more future value than dealing with the Raiders, and my actual pick, and we've talked about them as both of my best bets. I think the Tampa Bay, this is the spot you use Tampa Bay. It's a high EV plus play. The only other week that I would use them is week 17, and again, I'm not going to try and save them for week 17. So I'm going to go with the Bucs this week, I think. But my second pick, I think, would be Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would probably say Green Bay or the Bucs are a no-brainer. I like picking Green Bay in this spot just because I wouldn't want to waste the Bills, and I don't want to waste the Bucs. So that'd be mine. Survivor pick pool, Green Bay against the Giants.
All right. Run through one more time. Week 5, best bets. Close out the show with this. Tampa Bay minus 8.5. Baltimore minus 3. Cleveland plus 3. Rams minus 5. Green Bay minus 8. Joey, what were yours?
Mine were Lions, Pats over 45.5. Steelers plus 14. Saints minus 5.5. And Packers minus 8.
All right. That does it for Gambling with Gold, episode 109. Can't wait to talk to you guys after the weekend and preview NFL Week 6. Remember to go compete on Sunday's Best for that T. Higgins signed jersey and enter the Daily Dozen every day for your chance to win a Michael Parsons signed helmet. Until then, good luck with all your bets this weekend. Let's make some money, baby. See you guys.
Let's do it.